started, if you've read my book and know any of my story, just the nutshell version is I dealt with eating disorders my entire life, pretty much from the time I was just as far back as I can remember. And a lot of people think, well, it's because I was a dancer. No, it was just, it was part of my nature, just so hard on myself. And I fought and fought and fought to find answers for myself, and I just felt my inner soul crying for help. And I went to people, and nobody could help me find these answers for myself. And it wasn't until I reached the lowest point of my life 2.5 years ago, almost 3, it'll be March 17th, 2012. That's 3 years, yes. That I was driving down the freeway, and I was just, again, just one of the darkest points in my life, and I heard a voice. And that voice said, "You are the master of yourself." And I thought I was crazy. And I looked in the rearview mirror, and I was like, "Okay, girl, what's going on?" And it came again. It's not like a voice, but like, you know, just a little off voicey thing. And at that moment, it just hit me that I was the master of myself. I would determine my happiness in this life. Everything that at that point had for me created unhappiness and misery, essentially, could be fixed only by myself. That I had to stop running to validate myself and to fix things through other reasons or through other motives. And so from that time forth, I knew what I had to do, and I went through the battles. I went through the trenches, and for the first time in my life, I reached a body that I was proud of. And I did it all the wrong way. And by the end of that summer, my older brother had actually taken his life that summer. I didn't tell people what I was doing with my body. And so a lot of people were seeing me whittle down. They associated my changing body with my brother's death and thought I wasn't handling it well. And so they were concerned about me, and they sent me to a therapist, and I told the therapist, actually, this is a triumph. This is amazing. For the first time in my life, I loved myself. And I was proud of myself. She's like, why don't you tell your family? So I did, and you know, it's been a journey, but that summer, that July, I started a Facebook page. And if you've read the bio, this is the story. It's better when you hear me say it. So who's seen The Wedding Planner? It's a great movie, right? Okay, so Massimo, he's got that little Italian accent, you know? And he's telling J-Lo, he's like, oh, we can't date, but you know, we be like buddy. And I was just in my head that whole night, I was like, buddy. That's how this thing got its name. And I was working full-time in finance at the time, and I just wanted to share what I was learning about my mindset and then also the strategies of nutrition fitness. So, 2.5 years later, here we are, and it's exciting, and we've grown to a point now where we have coaches, and things are just growing very, very quickly, and it's exciting because this all started with a story of triumph. So you are here today to gain some insight, to begin thinking a little bit differently about yourself. And so before we get started, because we're going to start, I've asked each of our coaches, the current coaches, and there's a lot more certifying, but the current coaches are going to come up and just offer us a few insights before I give my main presentation. But I want to talk a little bit about taking notes. Okay, we're all female, and here we kind of like the cutesy writing thing, right? I have notebooks full of notes that I've taken at church, and classes, in college, and those notes have never done me any good. Because we think we'll go back to them, right? Do we? No. Okay. So what I would like to suggest to you is that your goal during the course of this presentation is that you're going to write down only three things. 3 takeaways that are actually implementable into your life. You're not allowed to take more notes than that. So that means you've got to turn on that brain, and you've got to be searching for those little nuggets of truth that are applicable to you, because every single one of us in here is different. Every single one of us has a different story, different background, different needs. And so hopefully this information will give you those little nuggets that you need to take and then apply to your life. So we're going to start with Rachel, who I was so blessed to meet about 5 months ago. And it was a crazy little meeting in the church foyer, and we looked at each other and was like, hey. I'll let her take over. Okay.
Okay, so I'm Coach Rach. I love cheetah. I've been known to wear cheetah high heels to the gym. And just all sorts of it. Anyway, so one of my favorite mantras is yes you can. And this was during one of my lowest points. It was something that I would tell myself when I looked in the mirror. I looked in the mirror and I would say, yes I can, yes I can. And so whether you're writing a paper for college, whether you're choosing to get out of a bad relationship, choosing to quit a bad habit, or you're hitting a personal record in the gym, or anything that you're doing in life, I just want you to be able to believe in yourself and tell yourself that you can. And so I just made these magnets. They're on a muffin thing. Creative, right? So you can just grab one, and I'll just kind of pass it around. Yeah? Okay.
Perfect. All right, who did I say is going next?
Kaishel! Now Kaishel, how did we meet?
At your cousin's homecoming?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's from Tennessee, and that's where some of my cousins are from.
Yeah. Cool. So I am going to tell you just a little fitness tip about added sugar and how to look for it and stuff. So this is just over there in the bottom of the bottled waters. Brittany's like, hey, there's orange juice in there. So I took it out to see what the sugar content was, and there's 28 grams of sugar in this thing. And what I'm going to tell you is that you should have no more than 25 grams a day. So I have this little reminder I'll pass around. So if you drink this, you have more than enough for the whole day. But if you're having this for breakfast, then you're probably still going to have sugar later on in the day, so that'll just add up. So just a little thing that you put in your kitchen with your little magnet. You can put it on your fridge. It just says added sugar no more than 5 grams per meal or less than 25 grams per day. So you just look over there. It's going to be underneath the carbs and also sugars. So just look for there. So I'll pass these around to you.
Okay, and then Brittany, Fit Brit. Brittany was my intern, and she started working with me in May. She was so cute. You were living in Hawaii at the time, right?
Yes.
And so is Maddie your cousin?
Yeah.
So she and I danced together, and so then Britt and I got to know each other, and first day she walks in my house, and we get talking, and then all of a sudden Britt's like, I want to do this. And she competed in her first bikini competition in August, and you took third.
Yes.
She came back in October, and she took first in open. So she's our little bikini queen.
It's been a fun journey. Okay, so what I wanted to share with you guys today was I have a little quote on setting goals. I think setting goals is a very important aspect in whatever stage in your life you're in. Whether you're trying to lose weight, whether you're trying to gain weight, whether you're competing, whether you're not, whatever. I think it's important to be setting goals daily, weekly, monthly, always having those goals. So my quote for you guys is, only 3 out of 10 people write down their goals, but they achieve more than the other 7 people combined. So it's not just thinking about your goals and having goals, it's actually writing them down and posting them somewhere where you can actually see them throughout the day. So you're constantly reminding yourself of your goals and you know what you want. So I have these little post-it notes, and on it says 3 places for you to keep your goals. You might have heard it from Kristy. One is your bathroom mirror, or your mirror in your bedroom, your fridge, and then in your car. That's 3 places where I always keep mine, and it's a good daily constant reminder. And then just a pen, and then on the back, I included a Reese's. Because they're my favorite, and so you'll remember that I gave it to you. Anyway, I'll pass it around.
And then after a workout.
There. Yeah, you can pass around.
Okay. And then Janelle. How did we meet?
When you were asking everyone, I'm like,
Did we meet online?
online.
That sounds creepy.
Now I was researching because I was in the process of becoming a coach, and I came across you, and I was like, that's what I've been looking for. So I contacted her, and here I am. So I'm kind of glad I followed Brittany. Try to make mine short. As I picked my favorite quote, and then I realized, oh, I've got so much to say, but I'm not going to say a lot. But it kind of goes with goals. But my quote is, most people have no idea how good their body is designed to fill. We all have different goals in life that we start our journey. It could be weight loss, it could be lowering cholesterol, health reasons. For me personally, it was to fight depression. That 5 years ago, I hit my all-time low. And I was going through a lot of personal things in my life. And I was sick of being dependent on seeing counselors, and I was sick of being medicated. I wanted to break free from that. And so I went online and did research, and everything was fit in nutrition and fitness. And I've always been active. I've done sports in high school, cheerleading, all that, volleyball. So it was there, and I couldn't figure out, why am I not feeling great? You know, why am I still depressed? And after all of my research, I realized it was my nutrition. So 5 years ago, I started it, and I would like to say, for the past 5 years, I have not once fell into depression. And I think a lot of that has to do with the journey I took, and the mental journey I took, and conquering not just the nutrition and the fitness, but being able to have that freedom of, yes, I can just control me, my body. I was so sick of so many years not knowing how my body was designed, and I finally found the answer. And then I found Kristy, and it just made it even that much better. So I'll pass these out for you guys to just remember that once you realize your body can feel as amazing as it does once you just focus on it and focus on yourself. It's amazing. So that was what I kind of found through my journey. So I just wanted to share it with you guys.
Well, thank you guys. There's so many stories in this room. And I'll bet, okay, so I'm going to kind of be weird and walk in between you guys. Have you seen Maze Runner?
Yeah.
Was it good?
I have.
I haven't. So, here's the thing. I could probably go through, and we could have every single person in here stand up and tell your story. Whether you have hit that point, there's no finish line in this. I think that's when we're done, right? So until then, it's a continuous journey. And there's points in the journey that we have to stop and recognize. So I call those points of awareness. So many of us have hit those points of awareness where we realize, oh wow, I hit my goal. Now I keep going and maybe change the goal or something like that. And so anyway, each of you has a story. And I was reflecting on this. Freeway is a great time for reflecting, right? Turn off your music and reflect. It's fun. And so I was thinking, so many people say, get a life. I don't have a life. Oh, you have a great life. You've heard these phrases, right? And I was like, that's so stupid, because we are all living. We all have a life. So here's what my little definition of having a life is. Life is simply a woven fabric of stories. Every story that you create is one thread. And then all of those stories form the fabric of what your life is. So be careful about the next time you think, oh, I don't have a life. Okay, just because you're not going to Cancun like everybody on Facebook, just because you're not posting these gorgeous selfies all the time on Instagram. If you listen to my podcast, you know how I feel about social media. Stop following people that make you feel like crap about yourself. I'm serious. Why do we do it? Like, do we find joy in that? Like, oh, they look so great, I feel like crap about myself. Not liking that. I walk behind that, then I disappear. Well, I went to a workshop once where, like, walk around the room, and then I thought, well, that's awkward because then your butt's always to someone's. Then you just So, who has listened to at least one of my podcast episodes? Raise your hand. Okay, if you have not listened to one of my podcast episodes, you can find them through several different ways. The easiest way to view them all by topic is by going to www.body-buddies.com. And under the Power Foods Lifestyle tab is podcast episodes. So I record episodes on nutrition, on mental discipline, and on exercise. So here's the funny story behind this all. I'm usually not wearing makeup. I'm usually in my jammies. And there's a mic and an open window. And I usually plan out what I'm going to say, like I have here, and then I go off. And And I've never had clinically diagnosed ADD, but I'm the tangent queen, and I can't stand a topic to save my life. So if I don't complete a thought, that's your job in your brain to do that. Now make sure you're paying attention, okay? So with that said, let's go ahead and dive right in. Okay, so each of you has this box in front of you, figurative box. And this is your current set of beliefs about your body, what is beautiful, what is acceptable, what is fashionable, what is correct in terms of nutrition, exercise, etc. My mother and I would argue what extreme is defined by it. When I first started doing this, and I wouldn't eat beets because of the sugar in them, she's like, "You're so extreme." I said, "No, you should understand sugar content. If you know what sugar did in your body, you listen." So anyway, you have this set of tools, and during the course of this, you may find that some of these things are applicable, that you're like, "Oh, I got the right tools in there," but you may also find that some of those need to be pulled out and put aside. Okay? And I think there's a lot of joy in realizing that one of your current beliefs about beauty or about acceptablism, I like to make up words, that you don't need it. It's time to change that. So be aware of these as we move on. What is a lifestyle change? And this is not like early society, like, okay, so, like, go ahead and talk. Like, they don't call me. What is a lifestyle change? Like, what does that mean?
I would say something you're doing different. You do something different than you're already doing.
Changing, yeah. So lifestyle though, so is that just like one component? Behavior. Okay, so what involves our behavior? What's a lot of things? Yeah.
Your attitude.
Attitude, huge. Habits. Actions.
Desire.
Big time. Everything starts with desire. Okay, so we have a thought, then the natural reaction after a thought is then an emotion. When you feel something, then behavior comes. So as we coach people, and as I've coached over 1,000 people the past 2 years, we identify behavior that needs to change. How many of us can look and say, "Yeah, I'm doing that wrong, and I'm doing that wrong, and I'm doing that wrong," right? But why are we just focusing on, "Oh, we just got to stop that"? That's not where we need to focus. We need to backtrack. What was the emotion that caused the behavior? Then, remember, it didn't start the emotion. What thought triggered the emotion? Triggers are where we always start if we want a change in behavior. And so this entire time is to help you learn to think a little differently. I love the analogy of the stadium. Has anyone been to an NFL game? A few people? That's not my bucket list. It's a big stadium, right? Okay, so I want you to picture your mind, and it's this stadium. So you have two teams in your mind. You have the positive team and you have the negative team. And there's this battle going on. There's this game. Now here's the problem. So often we are down on the turf with those thoughts, and so we can't identify what's good, what's not good. We're just absorbed in it, and that's when we start feeling helpless. That's when we start feeling like victims. That's when we start feeling prisoners in our own mind. And so we want to learn to back up and go up on the bleacher seat so we can watch this game that's going on. When you are up on the bleacher seats in your mind and can pay attention to what the thoughts are and what's going this way, what's going this way, you become the referee. And you start to be able to pull that flag and call penalties. Because there is no reason that we should be allowing negativity in our minds. But how often are we living by that? How often do we allow those voices to completely define us? And remember, what does a thought stimulate? Emotion. And then emotion stimulates the behavior. Okay, so everything's coming back to the thoughts in our mind. So at BodyWays, we focus on 3 different things to truly change lifestyle. The first and most important principle is mental discipline and learning to pay attention to the thoughts in our minds. Next is strategic nutrition. Third is strategic exercise. How often do people focus on exercise first? And that's kind of a typical gym mindset, especially like January 1st just happened. And everyone's like, go work out, go work out. How many of you have been frustrated, so okay, raise your hand, by not getting results in the gym? I was there for years. I used to take a Post-it note and mark off how many calories I was burning and think I was doing great, and that scale would not change. And my my body would not change. I was like, I can't work any harder. I'm burning a lot of calories here. And it was just I was doing things backwards. So that's what we do. That's what the coaches do. They help you understand those approaches. What I want you to do, oh, I forgot to hand out papers. Okay, it's okay. We don't have, well, do you have all papers?
Lined papers?
You're so good. Okay. I want you to think to yourself for 30 seconds, and I want you to identify the most negative thought that you allow inside your mind. And I want you to write it down. You don't have to show it to anyone. We're not going to read them out loud. But I need you to put it on that paper, and I need you to own that thought. Give it a name. Give it a voice.
Does anyone else need a pen?
Can it just be about anything?
Anything.
Okay.
Any negativity in your mind. Okay, once you've got that down, has everyone written it down? Put your pens down when you're done. Okay, now I want you to take that paper. What do you think we're going to do? Rip it up. You're so good. Hey, this is very symbolic. I hope you actually are paying attention to what's happening in your mind as you do it. Don't just tear that paper. I want you to think about actually displacing that thought and getting it outside of yourself. How much do we label ourselves? This is the number one thing I hear from people. I'm just so fat. What? No, you're not. What's your name? I'm Kristy Jo. I'm Kristy. Okay? We can't label ourselves. I am must always be followed by your name, because you are nothing other than that. It's okay to feel a certain way. It's okay to think that you might be perceived as a certain way, but you are not blank. So if perhaps your thought that you wrote down would fit in that labeling description, I want you to rethink that. Okay? We label ourselves as us, and we are each wonderful people. You are someone that has qualities about yourself that set you apart. You have talents, you have gifts, you have a mindset that is unique to you. And so what do you allow in your mind to define yourself? Start changing them. Okay, why are we doing this? The whole goal of this presentation is know your why. Know your why. I was working with a cute little teenager. She's 250 pounds. And after we got done talking, she just started sobbing. And she just hugged me. And she said, I know my why. And her whole goal, she wants to be a swimmer in university at BYU. She knows her why. And that for her was her symbol of hope. So think about yourselves. Why is it important to live a healthy lifestyle? Why is it important to keep going? A few of the different things that I hear constantly are, I have tried so many different ways and I just can't do it anymore. I don't get results. Why try? Probably a lot of you are going, I don't know about that, right? Other thoughts? How about this? I keep making mistakes. I'm a failure. So, I'll never be anything but a failure. Has anyone got a flat tire? I've never had one.
Go ahead.
Oh, serious? Okay. re-strategizing, okay, that was like an error, obviously. Next time that happens, this is what I need to do differently. Think about that. Think back to that bump in the road. Instead of looking at that as a failure, a setback, a problem, any of those words, we look at it as an opportunity to re-strategize. Okay? So, whether it was, oh my gosh, I ate that huge piece of chocolate cake, it was just chilling there. My weakness is maple donuts. I walk past that cake every time, just look at them like this. Whatever it is for you that bump in the road is, remember, it's an opportunity to re-strategize, to think differently. Game-changing thought. Instead of wallowing in self-pity and taking the victimization mentality, which we do. We do. If you really get inside your mind, remember the bleacher seats. If you walk up there and you start looking at what's going on in your mind, you'll realize how often we say, oh, like we are the victim of something instead of owning it. So, another thing to be aware of. All right, how many of you are mothers? Raise your hands. Okay, about half the room. This is something that I have heard every mother tell me. I feel guilty. I feel guilty for focusing on myself so much. Where is the balance between caring for myself and doing my role as a wife, as a mother, or anything like that? And if this is applicable in other things too, but I see it most in mothers. So, I'm curious, some of you moms that have figured that out, where is that balance and how do you justify, which I don't like that word, but what would be a better word? Because it's not justifying, it's not making it okay. It is okay. And Janelle, I'm going to pick you out. I know you're the answer to this because we've talked about it. Do you mind sharing your some thoughts? On the spot?
For me, God, there was a lot mentally. For me, it was, my kids are young. I have from the age of 1-year-old to 7-year-old. And as far as my husband's work schedule, I have to go during the day. I would love to wake up at 5 or 4 and go when everyone's sleeping. Then I don't think I would feel so guilty about it. But I do have to go when my children are home. And for me, it was really hard because, I don't know, there's so many things to do. But once I go to the gym, I do it. Another thing, nutrition. I think that I struggle mostly with that because I'm eating my meals. And then I'm like, well, I don't want to cook a million different things. But then I just realized my kids eat it. Why wouldn't my kids eat what I eat? And I tried it, and they eat what I eat. So that solved that problem. But coming home from the gym, I just realized I know this sounds so cliche, but I had energy. I was able to like look at my children eye to eye and play with them. Where before it was like constant go, go, go. And like, I don't have time for you guys right now. And for some reason, it was, I guess, therapeutic. I come home and everything's just kind of focused and I'm able to just look at my kids in the eyes and just be relaxed with them, which before, for some reason, I couldn't do that. So, I mean, every mother's probably different, but those were my problems. And then I also had the outside world telling me I was selfish, and that was probably my biggest thing too. I had, not to my sister, but not to like, but you know, you're being selfish.
You're on YouTube.
Yeah. But I had a lot of family, you know, who didn't understand my goals, tell me I was being selfish, and I think that was also hard to realize. So.
Well, that brings up a good point too. My entire family, when I first started all this, they didn't understand. They thought I was crazy. And it took a good year. And so if you are going through a lifestyle change and you have that social environment where they just don't get it, and they're kind of hard on you, aren't they? And it's tough because you want to be accepted, you want to be friends, you want to have your family enjoy going out to eat with you, and then they're like, why are you that? You know? And it's hard when you have that social pressure. It took me 1 full year of communication with my family, pre-communication, before holidays, before birthday parties, before barbecues, explaining why I was doing what I was doing. Again, it comes back to know your why. Why is it important for you to make a change? And it's so important to communicate that to those people. Because if you don't explain it, they're never going to know. And in this day and age, like, okay, so this is what I tell a lot of people. When you get, I hate the term haters, okay, but how about opposition? Kind of weird, right? When you get opposition, actually doing, the psyche of the individual, the way we're programmed is so interesting. When somebody sees somebody else pushing through what I like to call a wall of resistance, making change in their life that perhaps that individual has not yet successfully made, the psyche is naturally programmed to pull it back. How do you keep lobsters from escaping? Anyone know? You put them in a bucket. Do you need a lid? Nope. Why? The lobsters will pull each other down. If one starts to climb up, they'll yank it back down. Synonymous to our society and what I see in so many people's lives. So communication is really key. Does that mean that everyone's going to understand or align with your goals? No. But communication, without it, you're just shooting yourself in the foot. Okay? All right. Here's another reason, perhaps, that you might be frustrated and overwhelmed. When we don't feel that we have the knowledge. There's a lot of stuff out there in this industry, isn't there? Did you know it's a $3 trillion industry, fitness and nutrition? I meet with a lot of different companies and a lot of different people and have a lot of different meetings. And the things that I've been exposed to and learned about this industry are sickening. And it terrifies me what everyone doesn't know. The FDA is everything about the products on our shelves. If we do not take control, we will end up in coffins or hospitals sooner than we intend. It's the blunt reality. So, how many of us are like, I'm too busy, I just don't have time for this, it's too hard, it's too overwhelming, and guys, like, sometimes I'm blunt, sometimes I'm funny, I think I'm funny, I'm not, my family adventures say I'm not, but you have to look reality in the face. So, as we're looking at, okay, maybe you're at a point, you're ready to change. How do you do that with all of this? I mean, you got this diet, you got this, you got this. Do we agree diet mentality does not work? I think so. Which is the Power Foods lifestyle, and I'm not here to sell you on Power Foods lifestyle, but I freaking believe in it because I've seen miracles. And I get emails from people I've never met in my life that I'm like, why did you like my Facebook post so I knew who you were? And I get emails about how in the past 8 months their cholesterol has dropped, or pre-diabetes has been reversed, or this, or this, or this. And I'm just sitting back going like, whoa. The thing is, the Power Foods lifestyle, the system of eating, which is our PVC and our PVF meals, it comes down to meal combinations, timing of meals, portions of meals, and allowing ourselves that psychological respite of an indulgence meal, as well as a reset when we're really seeking to lose weight. This is the system of principles. So it's not a diet you either live or don't live. And so much I hear people say, oh, well, I just can't live it. I'm like, pick a principle. I recently, today, spoke with someone on the phone, and you know what, the only thing I told her was, I want you to drink 2 more cups of water a day. She's like, aren't you going to tell me a lot more? Baby steps. We start with baby steps. True lifestyle changes come one piece at a time. You might be ready to go 0 to 60, but I would caution you, be careful, because those desperation diets, I like to call, often swing back the other way. So, baby steps. This is a moment of reflection. One simple thing with your nutrition that you can change tomorrow and continue for the next few weeks and hopefully make it a habit. I'd like you to write it down. Simple. Here's a few ideas. I'm going to start having a vegetable with my breakfast. Yes, that's what we teach. If you are eating 6 meals a day, which is what I really teach people to do as an average, you know, just if you're waking up at 6, going to bed at 10. Of course, that's why we coach, because there's so much customization that comes in. The more opportunity your body has for nutrient absorption, the more opportunity those vitamins and minerals are going into your body to make a difference. So, veggies at every meal, more water. I like to focus on adding the right things in rather than, I'm going to stop sugar, I'm going to cut off my soda. How about don't make those a goal? Say, I'm going to drink more water, therefore the result is going to be drinking less soda. Something like that. I want to see pens moving. Ready, go. One simple thing. You know how Brett was talking about goals? Every Sunday, you should be setting one nutrition goal to focus on for the week. One fitness goal and one mental discipline goal. you've written that down, now I'd like you to transition to a fitness thought. Okay, what's one thing I could do better? My goal for this week is I'm going to stop complaining about cardio. I hate it too. Okay. But we do it, right? You gotta get that cardiovascular system working. Guys, there's so many endorphins in your brain that are released, but guess what? If you are not topping out over an intensity 6, you're not releasing those endorphins. So you gotta get those higher intensities in there. Okay, now finally, a third type of goal we set is a mindset or a mental discipline goal. A few ideas for this would be, I'm going to start being aware of the two different voices in my mind. Which ones are the ones for me, the positive voices? Which ones are the ones against me, the negative voices? Being aware. Stopping labeling the I am blank. Perhaps, oh gosh, that could be a million things. I want you all to stop following people that make you feel bad on social media. The end. I don't do it. I finally learned, because I did it for the longest time. I was like, oh, I'm going to be inspired and motivated. Wow, they look great. In the end, it was shooting myself. Seriously. I was like, why am I doing this to myself? That is not motivating me. I don't believe in vision boards with pictures. And if you do, that's okay. But for me and everything, I've had to work to rewire in my mind to love myself and accept myself. And I'll tell you what, I freaking love myself. And I could not say that for my entire life until I was 25 years old. I'm 27 and a half. I literally started a new life 2 years ago. I said, thank you for that 25 years. We're going to put that aside and we're going to start a new life. And it's 100% different. And you each deserve to love yourself. I can't tell you how many consultations I do with the most random people across the country and in other countries. And the first thing I say is, how do you feel about yourself? I barely get the phrase out and they're like, I hate myself. Think about that. Even if you feel discouraged, even if you feel frustrated, even if you feel stuck, it's time to accept yourself. Now, acceptance does not mean condoning laziness or a certain behavior. Acceptance means I accept myself as I am, flaws and all. And you know what? I'm going to set one small goal to improve upon that. That's all I believe this life is about, is progression. Look at that sign over there. Progress, not perfection. What we do subconsciously is we ascribe to this standard of excellence that is so far above what we can achieve that at the end of the day we go to sleep at night and we think, well, I'm a failure. Does this sound familiar? You're all like shifting your eyes like, yeah. Okay. So the last part of this is we're going to now set a new standard of excellence for yourself. Okay? So what this means is, what is good enough for you in your life on a daily basis? Where is your minimum functioning point that if you hit those key components, you can go to bed at the end of the day and be like, I done good. Good night. Bring on tomorrow. Because I'll tell you what, this is something I big time struggle with. I have that huge to-do list, the schedule. I've never once checked off everything off my to-do list. I'm like, drag it up, that didn't get done, that didn't get done. Got my priority one's done, yay! But you know what, and how many times I go to bed, I'm like, well, that sucked. And so redefining what is good enough. So I have recently started to change that for myself, and it's been